Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good afternoon and welcome to Fade to Black Cinema. I'm Michael, your bougie black brother, and I'm here with my co-host, Baloo.
Hello.
So Alicia and I went to see, a little while ago, we catching up on a lot of movies, a movie called Blindspotting. Pretty much an independent type movie that was filmed in Oakland, California. And what attracted me to it was there was a lot of critically acclaimed reviews about this, and I kind of was like, it seemed interesting, but it seemed like it was kind of like, whatever. But it was nominated for a lot of different prizes from Sundance. It was a Grand Jury Prize nominee in 2018, but the Palm Springs International Film Festival wanted directors to watch. Nashville Best Original Song, DeVille Film Festival Grand Special Prize nominee, and Cinetopia Film Festival Festival Directors Award winner. So I wanted to see this because it seems as though this was one of the most interesting black acted, written movies that came out recently. And so I told Alicia, I said, this is one of them I wanted to see. And she was like, what is this about? And I said, well, it got the guy that played in Hamilton. And I think he helped write it. So the two main characters helped write it. That was on there. It was David, what's his name? David Diggs.
Yeah, David Diggs and
the other guy, Raphael Casal, Casal. So they both wrote it, and it was a Hispanic director, Carlos Lopez Estrada. He didn't really do anything major either. He'd done a couple of little things, but all of them put together was kind of like, this is a story about what? You know what I mean? But so the summary is, Collin must make it through his final 3 days of probation for a chance of a new beginning in his Oakland, California neighborhood. His bond with his volatile best friend soon gets tested when Collin sees a police officer shoot a suspect in the back during a chase through the streets. Things soon come to a head when the buddies attend a party at an upscale home of a young and wealthy tech entrepreneur. So what made this interesting too, and I didn't know, did you know that while they was filming this, they was filming right at the same time the other movie we saw, Sorry to Bother You?
No, I didn't know that.
They were both filming almost simultaneously at the same time. So they were showing Oakland in so many different ways, but two different movies.
Right. Okay, that's understandable.
So this was like really, really interesting for finding that out, because we saw Sorry to Bother You, which was a lot stranger than this movie.
Right.
But
it was good.
Yeah, it was good though.
Let's
but
say that.
This movie was more, to me, emotional. And you really have to have the emotional connection to the Oakland society and just people in general who's trying to do better and not really being a criminal. And the movie kind of walks you through that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I like the fact that it didn't, how some movies are spanned over a year time.
Yeah.
And, he had to stay clean.
For 3 days.
But they gave you the last couple of days of his year probation, which I thought was excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love that part. And then him struggling.
Yeah. For 3 days.
For 3 days he was struggling. He was like, I'm staying out of trouble. And then get into situations that he can get in trouble.
Yep.
And it was like, what the hell? And my anticipation is like, okay, the cops gonna catch him here. Nope. Okay, the cops gonna catch him here. Nope. So I like that. I like the fact that they gave you that anticipation to say, what's the chance of him getting in trouble?
Yeah.
And
in his last 3 days.
Last 3 days.
Yep.
Last 3 days. And so, and then the challenges he had to go through. His best friend was crazy.
Yeah. That dude was off the chain.
His girlfriend was like,
she was a trip.
Yeah. It's like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And then, what was the other one? With his family? With his mom's. Mm-hmm. He's like, Mom said, well, you're going to come back. Well, you're going to have to share the room.
Yeah, because I didn't know and gave up. And,
yeah. And so it was really interesting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because at first I felt kind of funny about it. It's like, I don't know. And then, I just kept watching it and starting, and then you had to explain to me.
So let me interject so you can finish. That made you kind of see it differently. So everything that Alicia said, I had to explain to her the tensions that a black man has to go through, whether you're on probation or not. There are so much heavy things that a black man has to go through on a daily basis. Will a cop shoot me? Will the cops pull me over? Will I get in trouble just being with my friends? Will I can't even go out because something may go down and then I'm going to be like that. I'm in love with this woman, but she's not even supporting me. Mm-hmm. Hey, Mom, I didn't do anything wrong, but your family is still seeing you in a different way. People see you as something, and he wasn't even a criminal.
No.
He was a nerd, but because he was black, he's seen as a criminal.
Because he beat up that
he beat up the white guy because his boy kind of insinuated it, and with him just being with him caused him to be in trouble.
Right.
And he had, then he was going through some really emotional and psychological trauma when he stopped at a stop sign, saw a black man run, stopped in front of his truck and ran, and then a cop just ran past him and shot him in the back. And he saw all of that and was like in shock.
And he knew he couldn't do anything
because he had 3 days left.
And also he had to be back
at 11
at 11 o'clock. So he had a choice. He had to make that decision.
Yep.
So he witnessed something. He witnessed a crime.
Yeah. That he could have said, "Look, this cop just shot him in the back for nothing."
Yep.
But then, he explained it. He said, "So you want me to do that?" And they can say, "Oh, okay, but you're a convicted felon, right?
Yep.
And you're supposed to have been at back at 11 o'clock, but it seems as though this happened at 5 minutes 11. So you violated your probation.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Go to jail."
Yeah.
He said, "So that's what you want me to do?" And I was like, wow. And he couldn't sleep. He was having nightmares about it. And it was kind of like, damn, I'm trying to save myself, but damn, my integrity, the person who I am, do I really just let this go? But he kind of had to. Because of his own survival.
Right, exactly.
And it was like, it was so much that he was going through. And if you watched his demeanor and you watched his emotions, you see he was like all over the place.
Right.
And it blew up at the end.
Yeah, because his girlfriend was mad at him because of what happened.
Because he said you shouldn't be dealing with your
boy. Right. And his boy, he had that conflict between his girlfriend and his boy.
Yeah.
And that conflict was really pulling him.
Yep.
Until at the end, he had to tell his boy, look, you ain't black.
Yeah.
You want to, I think he said, you want to act like a nigga. I think it was like that.
No. So this was a great, so at the end, it really, everything that you saw lightly came up big time over like a whole 10, 15 minutes, all of that. So he was like, yeah, you let me call you nigga, right? Why don't you call me nigga? I don't do that. No. Why don't you call me nigga? He said, because they're looking at me But you the one that's acting the way they think I am.
That's true.
You
Yep,
the one that's
true.
acting like the nigga that they want, but they only see me as the nigga. He said, that's what you want? He said, this is bullshit. And he took the gun from him because, no, I'm not giving you this gun. He said, because this is what we've been fucking going through. Because at the beginning, the guy brought a gun from a guy, and it was so crazy. They was in their friend's car, and this friend happened to be
an Uber driver.
And if you with see all types of guns and shit in it.
If you seen the car, you'd be like, dude, you can't be an Uber driver in that damn
He was
car.
like, well, I'm ready to do a pickup right now.
Yeah.
They was like, you do Uber? Whoa. But he had guns all in the car and everything. So he took the gun away from him, and he was walking home, and a cop was creeping up on him.
Yeah.
And he was like, shit, I had the gun in my pocket. What the fuck? And you can feel like he
just, like I said, every time he got into a situation, I just knew.
This was it.
It was it. Yeah. That's what's so good about it. The anticipation for him. Okay, this was one situation he was in trouble. Mm-hmm. One situation he was in trouble. And each time.
And this was 3 days.
Yeah, and 3 days.
So could you imagine what he had to go through the other months?
Yeah.
Because it was a whole year.
Yeah, it was a whole year. Yeah.
But
the last
3 days
was the
hardest.
Yeah, it was the hardest.
And he was just working for a moving company, and he just tried to do whatever he could do.
I mean, his boy was his best friend. His girl was black. He had a white, his white friend had a little boy, but he was acting stupid, and his girl loved him because she was like, he was doing stupid shit, and she was like, oh no, you got to go. But she did support him. She did support him. Whereas his girl, his ex-girl, she had this thing hanging over him.
And she said, do you ever look at me like I'm not going to do anything wrong? And she couldn't answer him. No, and he was like, I'm fucking done with
But not
this.
only that, he was in jail, and she never came and visited him.
Yeah.
And his boy told him that. See, I was there for you. I put money on the books for you.
Yep. I came to see you.
Yeah. So that was, good. But she, on the other hand, she's going to tell you that I'm no good. But yet she didn't even want to be there when you were in trouble.
Yeah.
So it was just like this,
Because she told him, he only showed up because he was guilty.
Yeah.
And he told her, well, she didn't show up because you don't give a damn about you.
Exactly.
And he's kind of like, damn, what the fuck?
Exactly. But, in the end, he let go of his girl.
Yeah. And he said, my boy's been there for me, but maybe he'll understand.
Yes.
So I think he kept it to like, maybe he'll just understand.
Yeah, but his boy been with him since what?
Yeah.
Elementary school.
Yep.
So even though, he was mad at his boy at the end kind of understood.
He understood.
At the end that it was kind of fucked up.
He said, I need to think it a different way.
Yeah. He did.
Because you're my boy.
Yeah, and he's like, you gonna let me drive the truck?
And he's like, yeah.
But it was very, very educational.
Yeah.
It was very, very educational. And another thing I kind of like, the poetry.
Oh, when he rolled up on the cop?
Yeah, the poetry he was saying, because he did not say it just that one time. He said it, his boy did it, and then he did it another time. I can't quite remember where in the movie they did it. But, and that part when he came up, you're right. And when he was moving the stuff for this woman, just so happened to be the cop that shot.
Yeah.
And he was going, but they didn't show you what happened to the cop.
No.
But at the end, you seen that whatever he did, it was already had repercussions in his life.
And he emotionally and all that, it overwhelmed him.
Yes.
It overwhelmed him. Mm-hmm. And the guilt and everything, because he knew he was wrong.
Right. Right.
It was funny because you would have thought that this cop was like, I don't give a damn. I shoot black people all the time.
Right.
But this showed that this guy really had guilt and regret all of that. So that was something that was kind of like, wow, really? So it was to me, it was a really strong emotional movie for me, especially just being a black man and being put in a position that you just aren't aware of. You know what I mean? You're not aware that anything can happen. You don't know that. And when you're on probation, it's the smallest thing that can put you in jail and you're not really doing anything wrong. You know, Meek Mill. Hey, I was sent to jail because I was on a motorcycle in New York, and I go to jail for those many years. Stupid little shit like that with the criminal justice system. And he was trying to survive his last 3 days for something that he really shouldn't have went to jail for, that because his boy really was the main one to, you know, initiate and just go through that. And he didn't get anything. He went to jail for the whole thing. And I was like, wow, this is like really fucking crazy. But outside of all that, there was a lot of great humor in this too. It was a lot of great humor, but it was a drama too.
Yeah, it was for real, for real.
Yeah, it was a for real type shit going down.
It was for real.
But the comedy, it wasn't jokes. It was, these guys was just funny because of their relationship and the shit that they go through on a day-to-day basis, the people who they deal with, and a boy from it was an Indian guy who came to get his stuff moved, and he said, I know you, you the guy who beat the hell out of that guy in front of that. And they went through the story, and then they showed the story.
The character was Ren. That's him. His name was Ren, and it was I can't pronounce it, but
I don't know. Damn.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Utkarsh Ambukta.
Yeah, he was cool because he reminded me of one of the with the Ant-Man, the guy from Ant-Man, when he was just telling the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, well, that was cool how they did that. He was telling the story, what happened. Yo, man, he went berserk.
Yeah, and he was like, I need to tell you about that. So if you really want to see really, really in action, he was in White Famous, the series with Jay Farrell, being a comedian, and he was his agent there. And he was like, he was amazing on that. Yeah. He was funny as hell. Yeah. He dressed like fucking amazing all the time, and he was just crazy as hell. So
you really didn't know who he was. That's how good.
Not at all. And he shows up in like little things here and there, but that was a standout. That was a standout, and that was a good cameo that he showed, or a portion, because he was, what's that? He was on the Mindy Project for a while, from 2013 to 2017. So he showed up on there too. And
Tisha Campbell was, oh my goodness.
Yeah, she showed up in there.
Very small role, which as a beautician running her shop, and the white guy came in there and tried to sell them used goddamn hot curling irons.
Yeah, I know.
And he convinced them that they were the hottest thing in the world. And I was like, wow. And she, like Tisha was like, really? And he basically convinced her that she had to buy them.
Yeah. And he went through the whole thing to let her know, hey, you know what? These are the best, and this is what he can do. And he took it from Collin's mom house, right?
Yes, he did.
Because she was trying to clean up some shit. He said, what are you going to do with all of these?
You can have them.
And he went directly to try to sell the used curling irons.
And gave him half the money.
And he was a hustler for everything.
Yeah.
This dude said, look, we're going to destroy this house, but we got a boat in the back. He hooked that boat up and convinced this black dude that he needed to have this boat. I was like, whoa.
That was really cool. That was cool.
And they did it in ways that was almost, it was comical. It reminded me of a little like what, who was that? Spike Lee did in Do the Right Thing. And you know that they had flashes, and then the whole scenario was kind of different. He was fast talking between each other, and they was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then they move on to something different. It was really such a good movie. And it's not a, don't run out to see, action, or, this is about the hood. And yeah, it's about the hood, all right. But it's about the hood without the hood people, other than his boy trying to be hood like everybody else.
Right.
But he's white, you know what I mean? Or Hispanic, which I'm not sure what he was inside of there. But it showed just the Oakland atmosphere, and it was so amazing.
Yeah, and so Collin's girlfriend, She was in oh my goodness. She was in Star Wars. She was in
No, she was just in the Battlefield. That was just her
Sleepy
image.
Hollow.
So I don't remember her in that.
And she was in another The Mystery of Laura that I was watching with our girl, what's her name? Deborah Messing.
Really?
Yep. So she has been in a lot of good things, not just TV series, some movies. So she's got a lot of exposure as well. So
no, but it was great, and David Diggs, he shows up in a lot of different things that you probably didn't know he was on. He was on Blackish, because remember he was her brother, right?
yes, in Blackish.
He was on, what's her name? She had a flower name or something. He was her brother on there, so he showed up every now and then and went from that. He was on The Mayor. That was a quick little series I thought was kind of funny, but
it didn't do too well.
Last.
It didn't do too well.
It didn't look like it could last.
Yeah, they tried.
They tried. He was on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and I don't know what he was on that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He was on The Get Down. Don't know what he was on that.
Yeah.
But he's smart enough to show up when he needed to. You know what I mean? But he's a really good actor. I really love his style. I really love his presence. I don't want to say style. His presence. Because sometimes there's a person's presence that you enjoy. Mm-hmm. Whereby sometimes it's the way a person acts that you enjoy. But his presence is like really amazing. So when he shows up in a way that you kind of really appreciate and everything.
Right.
Yeah, I remember he tested that. I forgot this too. He tested the hot curls on Collin, and he straightened his hair. And he's sitting on there.
That's like, so funny.
What the hell? He said, girl, you need to come braid my hair and everything. And she was like, why you gotta be a hood? And he was like, damn, why do we got to go through this? Why do we got to keep going through this? And that was just a constant struggle between him
and his girl
and his boy.
Yeah.
And it was like, that shit's not fair. You know what I mean? But he had to deal with it. And you know, I really enjoyed this movie. This was a deep, heartfelt movie that was modern. It was real. And the struggle was real, and they showed it. So, with that said, what did you rate it, baby?
I'll give it an 8.5.
Well, okay then. I agree. And the only reason why I didn't go higher than that is, it's a independent movie. The way it was set up and all, wasn't big. But it was good. Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed it. This is one of them that's worth seeing as well. So I enjoyed all of these. So we saw 4 different ones. I'm gonna throw in the Equalizer 2, or I can throw it out. Yeah, let's just throw that out because that's not fair to put that into the 3. So we saw the Spike Lee,
right?
Black K Klansman. Mm-hmm. We saw Blindspotting, and we showed
Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah.
Sorry to Bother You. Denzel Washington.
No.
I keep forgetting it. Sorry to Bother You. Blindspotting. Okay.
And the Spike Lee movie.
Except
for saying Equalizer again. Yeah. So those 3. If you had to say, if I ranked them 1, 2, and 3, how would you rank those 3 movies?
What would I rank as number 1?
Yeah. Of those 3, what would you rank as number 1?
Oh, that's not good, babe. Oh, okay. Sorry to bother you.
So let me give you let me just help you with that. If all 3 of them was on, which one would you see first?
Sorry to Bother You.
Why? Just a question.
It was just crazy.
Yeah, it was just crazy as fuck.
And I'm like, that one was like, okay, I gotta watch it again because that was like really deep.
It was.
Okay,
I agree.
And
I
that
agree.
was deep. Okay, second one, Blindspotting, and then Spike Lee would be the first one.
So my cross is between those two that you had. I think I would probably have to agree with you because of the outrageousness of Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah.
I think the story was better on Blindspotting.
Okay.
Story-wise, emotional-wise, I think Blindspotting is a better movie than Sorry to Bother You.
Okay.
But if I was going to look at a movie first, it would probably be that. And then the Spike Lee would be last. Because Spike did a great job.
He did.
And
with
it
the
was
help of...
With what's his name? From Get Out.
Yeah.
And that he made that. But the thing is, if I wanted to see if I wanted to see one first, it would be that. But if I ranked them, if I truly ranked them, I would have ranked Blindspotting, Sorry to Bother You, Black KKK. That's how I would rank it.
Blindspotting, Sorry to Bother You, and okay.
That's how I would rank them. But when I ask you, wait a minute, if all three was on, which one would you see first?
Yeah.
I would see Sorry to Bother You.
Yes,
No, I honestly would.
Yeah.
That's why I said I would have to agree with you under the context of saying, if I was watching movies and they was like, look, we got all these three, which one you want to see? Yeah, put that Sorry to Bother You on.
Yeah, because it was deep, it was funny.
So it was a lot more entertaining and visually entertaining than Blindspotting was. But if I said, if I'm going to give a person an award, I would give it to Blindspotting.
Yeah.
Because of the depth of
Blindspotting.
the movie.
Yeah, Blindspotting would get... I would definitely be the one to see and get the award for that.
And I think...
Because it wasn't about... his success was getting off probation.
Yeah. His success is getting through the 3 last days.
Yeah, and I thought that
was his success.
It wasn't about getting a new job. It was him being with his friends, his mom. I mean, it was all about. It wasn't about. That's what I liked about it. Whereas they'll try to say, the storyline was that he'll either get in trouble, you get back in jail. You know what I'm saying, for Blindspotting.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that.
And what's interesting is when you said earlier, it truly was about when was he going to get in trouble? You know what I mean? But overall, the tension was always there. And, you said it too. You was almost anticipating that it was going to happen.
Yes, definitely.
And again, being a black man, and at the beginning of the movie, you just figured, yeah, he got into some shit, and then you found out that this guy wasn't your typical nigga.
Right.
And then you was like, he actually shouldn't have went to jail. He shouldn't have been a felon at all. But dealing with his boy, he happened to become a felon, where his boy would have been proud to be a felon because he wanted to be so street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he wanted to be criminal.
Yeah.
He wanted to be gangster.
Yeah, I want to be gangster. But overall, a really, really enjoyable movie. And, we ranked him over the last 3 ones. And then, Denzel Washington just happened to be the last of the black movies because it was a black director with that as well. I forgot his name too, but he did the first one, but he got more money on this one. And you can kind of tell that he got more money, because it looked like he got some more money, and it was structured, and the acting was a little better too. But had to give him a little credit because, it wound up being a much better sequel to the first one, and Antoine Fuqua, pardon me, but because Antoine, he's a good director. He done some good things. He did Training Day, the other Equalizers. He did that stupid movie Magnificent Seven. Remember, you saw that and you was like, oh my God. But he did some things that was decent. He's a decent, good director. He just needs some better guidance in order to keep him guided in the right way. And that's where a lot of these directors who are pretty damn good needed good directing, because like Jordan Peele helped, was that Spike Lee on his movie?
That's right.
And you can tell the difference.
That's right.
You truly saw the difference in between that.
Yeah,
so
you did. I mean, I was like, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Help him out each time, brother. Please. Resurrect Spike Lee's career. Help a brother out. Literally. You know what I mean? So, anyway. So, anything else on the movie, Ben?
Nah.
So, I again, if you get a chance to see it, it's probably going to come out at theaters. And if you get it on streaming anywhere, this is something that's pretty good to sit down and watch. It's a really watchable movie that you probably would enjoy. So pick it up or go see it if you're really saying, look, I just don't like the smash and bang, because most of that is about ready to go because we're getting into the Oscar season. Mm-hmm. So you're really going to get a lot of the different kind of dramatic drama and suspenseful stuff for the Oscars. And then Christmas time, you get like all of the, the Harry Potters, all of these other magical Christmas type stuff that'll come out during the last end of the year. Mm-hmm. But other than that, pick us up on Fade to Black Cinema on most of the podcast downloads that you can get. I don't know. I don't even want to say most. I'm going to say all podcasts. So you can get them at like Spotify. We got some people that picks us up on Spotify, which is really worth checking out. There's a lot of different other places that you can pick it up at that we are actually downloading on. And if you have iHeartRadio, I forgot about that. Some people's like, hey, are you on iHeart? Yeah. I'm not on SoundCloud because I'm not going to continue to keep paying them. So don't even bother looking for it there. But on YouTube, the Bougie Black Brother Network, if you look that up, that's where it's under, and you should see it under either Fade to Black Cinema or Urban Lifestyle Cafe, because remember, that's the old one. I don't think we changed it, so check that out and you'll be able to see it on there. But anywho, every Wednesday, check us out. Every Wednesday, Fade to Black Cinema movies, TV series. I've been doing TV series, was way behind on them. We may not do a couple of those because we way behind on those. But a couple of movies we're looking to see, and a two Asian movies we want to see. And when that comes out, then we'll be like, hey, here's 2 back-to-back Asian movies, and you can check it out with us. And then we can go from there. But anywho, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Fade to Black Cinema.
Bye.
See ya!